And yeah, like bringing it back to music talk, I feel like music can do that for you too. Music is super introspective and self-reflecting, and I feel like it's able to, I mean, it's personally helped me out a ton. It's personally helped me be introspective and look at my flaws and things that I wasn't happy about, and able to have a therapy session with myself or with others, you know, and figure out what's good for me. You know, I think music was a huge crucial role in shaping and forming me as a person, me and what I enjoy, and as well as me as I am today. You know what I mean? Because life is all about growth. It's if you stay stagnant, you're never gonna make it far. You gotta always be willing to climb that extra step every single time, because nothing is gonna stay the same.
Growth and change.
Growth and change.
Always constantly changing, because that's what the world is.
Oh, yeah. And I think that's what music is in general. Like I always call back to Mac Miller, for example. He's like the epitome of growth and change in music. The amount of
he's done it. Well, he's yeah.
He's done R.I.P. Mac Miller.
Yeah, he's done so much.
So many different genres.
Exactly. Yeah.
Are you a big Mac Miller fan?
Yeah. I'm not like an avid listener. I was an avid listener.
Yeah.
In college, I listened to a lot of Mac Miller.
Of course, but that was the time.
Like now, not as much. Now I still listen. He's borderline not even hip hop sometimes, but like
his most recent projects were, I don't even know if you could categorize it in that, right?
But yeah, I loved Swimming was great. I love that record.
Swimming, unbelievable.
I think every record he's put out, I've always loved, I've always praised, I've always, continued to listen to. I'm a big fan of Macadelic. I don't know if you've listened to that album. It's on my phone screen.
What year was that?
Macadelic came out like 2011, 2012.
Oh, yeah, I don't know too much, like, because I wasn't.
You know the song "Loud"? I like my music real loud. That's on that album.
Gotcha.
It's a fucking banger. It's got Kendrick Lamar on it. It's got Lil Wayne on it. It's got so many great artists. Really formative for me growing up. I'm a huge Mac Miller fan.
Yeah, I don't. I never really listened to it.
But that was more of
his early stuff.
Yeah, that was more of his frat boy rap, hip hop vibe, and then he obviously grew differently, but that was definitely
he showed his growth for sure.
He showed his growth for sure, and that's the thing about his growth is he was always good at it each time. You know what I mean? Yeah. Everything he touched upon,
great.
Like his last album was way more jazz inspired, and when he first began, that was like the Divine Feminine, and like even then he killed that. You know, so I think it's great. I think having role models, I think music's so important to have people in your life that you can look towards that can provide that jump for you to say, hey, like, things may not be perfect, but I'm willing to keep trying and keep going and keep growing.
100%.
Hell yeah, that's music is human. Like the great Dan Saladin said.
Music is fucking
Quote that,
human.
man.
Yeah, like a big thing we like to do, we're almost been here for like 2 hours. I don't want to keep you too long, but I know you got things to do.
Hey, we could go all night.
But
24-hour marathon.
Yeah.
Call in with a donate.
That's the next podcast idea is live stream. We're just have to live stream like Kai Cenat and all them and just keep going. But is there anything we didn't get to touch upon that you want to talk about?
What do you want to leave the viewers with?
Well, that's the thing we like to say for the end.
Well, I don't know what I want to leave the view. Anything I want to talk about specifically?
What was something we didn't get to touch upon?
In terms of just what I actually do day to day,
anything that
music,
encapsulates you,
Yeah, I would just say my philosophy on music, especially the the engineering side, is make things as natural as possible.
I love that. Why?
Because, like I said, music is human, not robotic.
Hell yeah.
You can make that's to me. Like you can make some hardcore freaking dope dubstep techno music,
but that's from a human.
Deep house. It is from a but I say like throughout what that is. It is still very human, but I would say my take on music is more I don't know.
It's hard to describe, right?
It's hard to describe, but yeah, try to speak on it. You know. Say what you're feeling.
Free flowing, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not forced.
Not like
forced.
not like avant-garde like weird shit. But I love like 70s records where it's just a band in a room, and that's what you got.
The most simple thing.
That's what you got.
We talked about Zach Bryan, just a man and his guitar.
Yeah.
And look at him, he's charting. He's one of the biggest country artists. I wouldn't consider him country. Me personally, I think he falls more in a folk indie vibe, but or alternative vibe. But yeah, something so amazing about just the simplicity of a man and his guitar, or just these instruments.
Yeah.
I agree. Like, it doesn't need to always be this super hyped up, produced and doctored, robotic sound, right? It's something just as simple as a voice, a piano, a voice,
guitar,
and a guitar, or just the guitar, or just the acapella. You know what I mean? Something so simplistic about it. Still so
a guitar
amazing.
and a mustache.
Yeah, performance is one of those things in recording. It's performance over everything. It's like that's
mustache. Let's go. But yeah, continue. I'm sorry, that just kind of hit me.
Big shouts.
Performance is the most crucial element to recording music.
1000%. And that's the thing about Zach Bryan, or I like to bring up Billie Eilish for these examples. That like when you hear their music on their albums, it kind of just sounds like you're listening to them in person.
Yeah.
When I listen to Zach Bryan album, I'm like, damn, I feel like I'm at Gillette watching him right now.
Yeah.
Or when I listen to Billie Eilish, I'm like, damn, it just sounds like her voice is literally in my ear. Like something so raw about their talent. I'm like, holy fuck, like just so much talent, so much great, artistic value there that like I hope people recognize. It's something that I feel like people neglect. And people are just like, oh, I just want to hear NBA Youngboy fucking rap. I don't want to hear any other shit. And it's like, I get it. Like, obviously, to each their own, and I'm not player hating on anybody. And I just think, like, there's so much more. It goes so much deeper. And like you said, it's just like that natural, not trying to force a studio or a doctored production, which I feel like happens a lot in hip-hop nowadays, which I don't really like.
Yeah, I think it happens everywhere.
Happens everywhere, but
because
I feel like more so hip hop.
If we can make things perfect, we're gonna make them perfect. We've kind of.
But is it perfect when has no perfections?
Well,
like, is that truly like having imperfections is something
very
so good?
Very subjective. I would say no. Like
Me too.
I rarely ever pitch correct or auto tune any vocals that I record for people.
Just rawness.
And it's like, is that wise on my standpoint? Does that sell as well, so to speak? No, it doesn't.
Yes and no.
Because people, there's like an expectation of perfection almost.
Definitely.
Whether it's like sonically, whether it's tonally, people want to hear perfect because it sounds good, right?
Right.
Always.
It's pleasing. It is a dopamine hit.
For sure.
Hell yeah.
It's a drug.
But I don't know. It's not the music. It's as like someone who mixes. It's like it's not the music I prefer to listen to. So if I have a creative choice, I'm gonna go with what I prefer to listen to. Which again, like if I'm doing something for someone and they're paying me money to do it, I'm gonna weigh their input much more than if it's for something that I like want to do for one of my bands or something like that.
Of course.
Hell yeah.
I mean, I have more
The
freedom
demand is
to do
different.
the stuff I want. Yeah,
Exactly.
But if you're doing something with other people, I mean, you have to weigh their
Incorporate,
considerations
yeah,
and
100%.
stuff that they want to hear too.
Definitely.
No, I think that's good, and I think that ties into like usually when we wrap up the pods, we like to kind of summarize what's a big takeaway for people. Like what can the people take away from this, and what's important what's something you can give them to thought provoke them.
I have to provoke thought to the audience.
Yes.
Hey, audience.
Shouts.
Hey, shouts. Go check them out
What's
on
something
social.